Live in color from Television City in Hollywood. It's the Gratu Orloff Show. Saturday morning, possibly April 12th. Yeah, April 12th, 2025. In the year of our Lord, AD. Drew, is that correct? So, oh, they're starting to put names on Coca-Cola bottles now. So, got a lot of stuff to do today. So let's see what we can do here. Actually, I need to be upstairs in the attic. That's what I need to be. I've got some stuff to do down here first. I hate drinking this crap. I'm just trying to stay awake. Okay. Need to find a place to put this Coca-Cola tray. Would be a nice place for this. Well, today I think they're supposed to have negotiations with Iran, the Trump administration, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that turns out. Um, Maybe we can find a place in the gift shop for this. What's that look? Man, the cats have been knocking stuff around down here. Where could I put this? Oh, I see. Is that there? Okay, I'm starting to have some brilliant ideas here to display these Coke trays. There you go. Okay. I've had this little book since I was in kindergarten. Menzelmanschen, Capriolen. I don't know, they're these little elves that are in German cartoons. We were living in Germany at the time. So, yeah, buddy. I'm listening to a Seattle country music station from 1964. The DJ's name is Buck Ritchie, and the radio station is KAYO Country, KO Seattle. This is the DJ. There are great things that you can do on YouTube. Okay. Still recovering from the aftermath of opening up a big box of birthday presents the other day. My birthday's not till a week from tomorrow. I'll be turning 60, but I got a birthday present early. It's a whole box of comics and cool stuff. If you saw the last episode, you saw me unboxing it. Today, you'll see the aftermath of that. I've been up since before 5 o'clock this morning organizing things. And My goodness. I need a pair of scissors, and I can never find it. And then whenever I grab the scissors from the kitchen, that's doesn't go over well. Well, it's a pleasant enough day. Where's the hammer, man? There's a link to come on if you're so inclined. Let's see if the elevator's on this level. It would be really helpful if it was. If not, I'm gonna have to pull it down. Yes, indeed. Nope, it's not on this level. I close the door. I don't want any little kittens running up and falling. Okay. All righty. Those comics you saw me open the other night, if you were tuned in on Thursday night, they're now, I got them all organized in a short, well, in a magazine box, because some of them are golden age, so they're not going to necessarily fit in a regular box. So they're in this box. I had to take these VHS tapes out because this box was filled with VHS tapes down in the basement. I needed a magazine box and don't have any comic store around where I can just easily obtain supplies. So. This is a Howdy Doody book. It's in I don't normally keep my golden books in bags, so I may just put this with the other golden books and then reuse this for something else. This is in very good condition. Howdy Doody and Funland. Copyright 1953. Opening day at the Doodyville Park. Howdy Doody in charge. You ever think about the route that these books or records, whatever it is, posters that you collect, where have they been for the last 70, 80, 90 years? Were they with one original owner who kept them their entire life? Were they, it's always, I don't know. I don't know how many people think about things like that. Yeah, that was a cool puppet on Howdy Doody. A lot of people don't know much. You gotta watch Howdy Doody. You know, there's tons of Howdy Doody episodes available to watch for free on YouTube. Um, and you should do that. It's really a great show. Yeah, this is about as good a condition you could possibly expect. I mean, this is great condition. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, I got all these books and I unboxed them and I've put them in order into this short box. And now is where I actually open them up and look at them. And only one person's watching. That's hilarious. Um, that's fine. Okay. It's Baby Huey, the baby giant. This is from August of 1960. Man, just think, August of 60, there, all you'd see on TV was Kennedy, Nixon battling for a few months later. Kennedy would win, November 1960. Yeah, this bag could definitely use replacement. That may happen at some point in my life. Yeah, this is an old bag. Man, is it 10 o'clock yet? Almost. I got it. Yeah. Got something to do at 10 o'clock. Boys, girls, ladies, men, win a beautiful signet ring engraved with your own initial. It's fun, it's easy. All you have to do is name these famous U.S. presidents. Can you do that? Can you name these four presidents? I guarantee you, most people in the United States today could not do that. Yeah, I'd be amazed if most people could even name Lincoln and Washington, much less Ulysses Grant and Teddy Roosevelt. It's courtesy of your friends at the Wilson Chemical Company. 10 cents, giant flying plastic jet. Uh-oh, I don't want to get a copyright claim. Turn that down a little bit. You know what? What was it? CBS that put Hee Haw on the air and tried to and just made country music that made it look like it's just a bunch of hicks that like it. I don't know. It's kind of insulting, but you know, as if those guys weren't all dressed in like hillbillies, then the music. I don't know. As a kid, I kind of was like, keep away from me, hee haw. But now I realize, man, there was a lot of great country performances on that show, and I need to watch more hee haw. Again, there's lots of episodes of hee haw available on YouTube. Oh, I got my 3 viewers back. What a famous YouTube influencer I am. Oh, interesting. But, well, I mean, you know what Harvey does. They've got a 1 page gag strip on the first page, and then they've got an ad. And then, but anyway, this kid is delivering the Dallas Times Herald on Goodyear tires. This is Milton Dippery, veteran news carrier for the Dallas Times Herald. He's a sophomore at South Oak Cliff High and so successful at his after school job, he's already banked $130 towards a college education. His favorite studies, math and English. His favorite sport, bicycling, of course. Okay, well, I just was kind of taken aback by the Dallas Times Herald. That's, where I used to live in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I thought, are there regional editions of Baby Huey? I don't think so. It's just, usually they won't show. Usually they're not going to show a Texas newspaper in a national, since these comics all basically come from the East Coast. But I guess they did there. Baby Huey, man, this book's in great shape. The Harvey books, this being around 1960, the panels are a little smaller. You get more. And here's Buzzy, the funny crow. They have to tell you he's funny. It's usually not a. I'm sure he is, but it's usually not a good sign when they tell you that something's funny. It's kind of like the laugh track on a TV show. Look at this newspaper, man. It's called the Pussycat Press. It's like something Al Goldstein would publish. But Baby Huey. Wonder how many live streams are on YouTube right now. Someone thumbing through a 1960 Baby Huey comic. Probably none. This is all the Harvey comics that were out that month. Harvey had a prodigious output. Um, okay, and the little Jack in the Box Harvey comics, which, by the way, is on Alfred Harvey's tombstone. They have the little Jack in the Box guy. Says, "Hi friends, look for me on the top of every Big H comic. See me on Fun Day Funnies every Sunday at 5 p.m. ABC TV." Yeah, I knew that these Harvey cartoons aired on Sundays. I figured it was Sunday morning, but apparently the ABC network, there's the ad for it, aired these on Sunday evenings, every Sunday, 5 to 5:30 p.m. Sunday is Fun Day. Sponsored by Mattel Toy Maker. Um, so these would be the theatrical um, Harvey, Little Audrey, Casper, Baby Huey, Herman and Catnip, and the Crow. They were the ones that had played in cartoon in movie theaters. But I think the next year they started with made for TV Casper cartoons that would have the characters from the comic book, like Wendy and Nightmare and Spooky. Those are harder to find on YouTube, but they're there if you look hard enough. Then there's a list of all the television stations, ABC affiliates that you can watch this on. San Antonio, Texas, Kono TV. That's my hometown. I wasn't born in 1960. I was born a few years later. Um, oh, I can turn the sound back up. That music's over. Washington this afternoon for a short visit before embarking on a vacation, probably in the Caribbean. Oh, I gotta make sure my wife's. The nation's capital this morning. He's going for a vacation in the Virgin Islands. With growing speculation, a successor to his Senate seat will be appointed soon. Perhaps. Ooh, this bag is nasty. The president is still enjoying a relaxing rest at his Texas ranch. No indication of when he'll return to the White House. Yuck. I need new bags and boards. I'll return. Vietnam's new civilian government in trouble, getting severe criticism from Buddhists, Catholics, and students after less than 48 hours trying to prove itself. More news in a moment. Dear Grace Rogers, I don't have problem skin, so why should I have to put up with burning and stinging from my deodorant sometimes? Dear Brenda, deodorant irritation needn't be a worry to you. Try none. You see, many deodorants use harsh chemicals that can irritate. Mine doesn't. It's so safe for normal skin. You can use it even if another leading deodorant leaves skin irritated. Mine works with nature to stop odor all day. Communist China has hailed the downfall of Nikita Khrushchev, voicing confidence the Chinese-Soviet squabble will be settled, but on Beijing's terms. U.S. scientists preparing another Mariner spacecraft for a trip to Mars. This morning, the space agency launched a big satellite to measure the meteoroid menace to space travel. Steve McCormick, Mutual News. Stay tuned to this station for all the news. Here's a real bargain. Right now, you can buy Scotch-Brite scouring pads at a special low price. And it is a bargain. Because Scotch-Brite's worth every penny you pay ordinarily. And then some. Gives you all the scouring power of steel wool pads. But it can't rust, can't splinter, can't stick in your fingers. And oh, how it outlasts steel wool. Look for specially marked boxes of Scotch-Brite scouring pads at your groceries. This offer is for a limited time only, so get your supply now. This is the Mutual Radio Network. This is the Chris Lane Show. It's 23 minutes before 9 o'clock. Okay. Has your pocketbook ever run out of gas between paydays? It's surely a wonderful feeling to know that extra money may be available immediately whenever you want it. With just one phone call to local loan. What is going on, man? What are you? Wait, there's comments. I have to turn it sideways because YouTube has gone mad. Or StreamYard, rather. John Goris. Jersey Shore kind of continued the Po Novo rich trash of Beverly Hillbillies. I never watched that. That's what I hear. Gary Davis says, never read any of the non-hoarder Harvey comics until much later in life. Not sure why. Yeah, well, I don't know. I doubt you read any of the horror Harvey comics until late in life either, because you weren't around then, and They weren't print anyway. Yeah, Harvey Comics in the early 50s had a line of horror comics imitating EC. What do you have in your mouth there, Drew? The hell is that? Oh, a bottle of tea. Yeah. Well, what can I say? You know, I don't even know why I'm talking. I'm a mad person. I'm into humor magazines. That's my real loves are monsters and humor magazines and monsters. And I got into comic books as a 5, 6 year old, 7 year old because there were monsters in the comics, and I loved Dennis the Menace and the Three Stooges and music. And I didn't get into the superhero stuff until really late third grade and full fledged in fourth grade, just because monsters led me to the superheroes. But I sure don't. I don't know. That's just how I am, man. That's how it's been most of my time now, man. Been into monsters. But the Harvey stuff was there. Yeah, it's just the art. There's something about it. Everything about it. The art, the whole design. The logo. This is the logo. People like to call that the trade dress. They're wrong. Trade dress is everything. I'm just gonna throw this bag away. This comic's gonna go bagless. It's being cares. This bag is just nasty feeling. Yeah. Just nasty. And it was sealed with this description. Apparently, it was originally sold. Tried $5.99 was its original price, but I think I probably got it for $1 or $2. I don't remember what price was thrown on this. But anyway, so you get photographs of your favorite stars when Ricky Nelson would have been one of them. Ricky Nelson is fantastic. There's an ad for an early issue of Hot Stuff. You can see how Hot Stuff changed in the 50s. And cats doing. Oh, I see. Everything was. Their heads were giant. They got smaller. Casper and Hot Stuff. Anyway, I was talking about this Fun Day Funny show. Yeah. Got all the Harvey comics together. Where does this thing go? All right, here's another Harvey comic. Dick Tracy. Let's take a look at it. This is from 1954. It's listed as being in very good plus condition. And it's number 76. How about that? These are being opened for the first time. The other night, I just pulled them out of a box, and then the next morning, yesterday morning, I put them into this box. Okay, also Harvey. It's Dick Tracy. It's at the bottom. They see that they have a checklist of the other Harvey characters where they list Joe Palooka, Blondie Dagwood, Seth Sack, Little Max, Casper, Little Audrey, Dick Tracy, Paramount, Daisy and her pups, Horace and Dottie, Rags Rabbit, Little Dot, believe it or not, Cat's. Okay, those are all the properties that Harvey was dealing with then. Okay, so what this is reprints from the Sunday Funnies, or actually this probably is the daily comic strip, just colored, which is great. Here's your 1954 calendar. Let's see if it lines up with this year. Today is April the 10th. Well, the 10th. Saturday was Saturday. The 11th was on a Sunday back in 1954. But today's not the 11th. Today's the 12th. 12th was on a Monday in 1954. You remember that, all of you. Looking very demure, very quiet, very like, for heaven's sake, will you please close the mic so I can tell you what. Okay, look, this is when Casper first started in the comics. Hello, operator. I'm calling all boys and girls to tell them to get my brand new Casper the Friendly Ghost. Cute and friendly humor, specially written and drawn for tiny tots. Look at that, man. I miss flea markets. There's no flea markets around here. Everything's an auction here. It's interesting, a regional thing. There's not even many estate sales. People that deal in antiques kind of like saying, "What's an estate sale?" You don't know what an estate sale. But I went to one estate sale, but I think people that have estate sales here are from somewhere else. Here, it mostly everything's auctioned off. That's what I think. Well, this is fantastic, man. Dick Tracy. Is anybody even watching properly? There's a link to come on. If any of you guys are wearing clothing, you could come on. I doubt anyone that watches this would be wearing clothing. Let's see here. Gary Davis says, I meant Casper Spooky, Windy, Hot Stuff, and the like. Never read Baby Huey, Dot, Lot, or Richie Rich, or those. Yes, what's wrong with you? Then he says, never was exposed to any other Harvey titles, horror or otherwise. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. That's a terrible fate. Let's see. And another copy of Dick Tracy. This one's not in fantastic condition, but it was apparently once sold for $15, or that was at least attempted. This says it's in good condition from 1958. Good condition. It's a Popeye color TV set. Here the panels are larger. Man, it's the adventures of the Spoon Men. The Spoonmen must have been like Snap, Crackle, and Pop, but they were for shredded wheat. The Disco Shredded Wheat Juniors had these little outer space astronaut, and you could get your cavalry canteen. For a roadmaster. Oh my gosh. This is interesting. Look at this character. That's like a. Look at this hoodlum girl. Friends, not everybody can watch their own favorite television shows. I mean everybody, and the reason that this is possible is an old man. Oh, it's supposed to be. She's supposed to be like a female Elvis. Television sets, and he'll sell you for as little as $25. I think. No more arguing about who gets to watch what program. So you have him introducing. Then it goes to the. Go right ahead. If you want to watch Wagon Train, just snuggle up to your own set from Munz TV. Run right down to Munz TV at the corner of 8th and Olive and pick out your own set. And while you're there, take a look at the famous Munz comic. I don't know. I have to read this to find out what exactly is going on with that character. I'm trying to figure out why it's someone wrote Detective's Guide on the front of this. Is that some special? Ooh, I see. It has reprints of the. That's what they're referring to, the Crime Stoppers textbook. Someone thought it was called Detective's Guide. They would have that on all the Sunday strips. They would have a little Crime Stoppers tip. Dick Tracy comic strip. I'll give you some examples. Watches often contain repairmen's identification numbers and can be traced. Always check your prisoner's. Always check your prisoner's pencils and fountain pens. They might be weapons. It's okay. It was a little. The little white cat is scared of Alan the cat. The little white cat, his name's Callie. But now Alan's going to start crying. Watch this. Because whenever Alan is rejected, someone runs in fear from him, he starts crying. He's been doing that ever since he was a kid. I'm way ahead of you on that score, man. I checked this thing for electrodes before I ever sat down. Now the dog is chasing Alan, thinking that Alan did something wrong. Man, Alan can't catch a break. I wouldn't think of Seattle as a place with country music, but I guess it would have people escaping the Dust Bowl wound up in California, and some of them probably wound up there in Seattle too. Okay. Well, that one's not in as good a condition as the first Dick Tracy. But oh well. Dick Tracy, Dick Tracy. Hold on. Now it cuts to 70s music. I'm making a tape here. I want to keep it to a certain time period. I can't see any of the comments unless I turn my phone sideways. So if you're commenting and are starting to get nervous because I'm not reading your comment, well, you're just going to have to deal with it. Let's see. 1962, Dan Ingram, New York, WABC. That should be good. The older the radio is, the cooler it is, in my opinion. And this is from July 8th, 1962. Okay. Let's see what these clowns are saying. Probably nothing. Clothing's for squares, says John Goris. Alan's kind of like Casper then. Yeah, kind of. You bastards. What's wrong with you? That's going to get me a copyright claim for sure. I got to turn that down a little bit. All right. Okay, here comes the cat. Looking to see if the coast is clear. That's Callie the cat. Cat sees a dog. Dog sees the cat. The cat decides, I'm going back behind the Philco Predicta TV. Then I'll duck down and I'll become invisible. Her. That's her plan. That's her plan to stick it to the man. From QualityComics.com. This apparently was from a store called Quality Comics. It's an Archie publication. Super Duck, the Cockeyed Wonder. Everyone tells me Super Duck is pretty shitty. You'd think it would be cooler with a name like Super Duck. You'd think it has to be good, but everyone tells me it's inferior. But this is my first experience holding a Super Duck comic. It's not a typical Archie comic. It's an ad for Butterfinger. I'm not even sure if I've ever tasted a Butterfinger. You know that? I don't think I have. Have you? I know. I don't know if I would like it, but I know what I don't like is Tootsie Rolls, man. Tootsie Rolls are for squares, right? Drew, the dog. Well, it's certainly a different time period when these were the shoes that were in vogue. I'm thinking this is the 40s. There's no date on it. Yeah. This feels the fashion, the shoes. I'm thinking we're in the late 40s here. Let's take a darn look. I was right. Late 40s, June 1948. So it was about, it's probably like my dad's first year in college when this came out. Super Duck. Super Duck, at first, you think, well, Super Duck must be a girl. He's wearing lederhosen. It's like, well, at least he wears pants. Donald Duck doesn't even have does. That's why he looks weird. He's wearing pants. And ducks don't have pants in the Disney. Male, female ducks, they're all bottomless in the Disney. Um, yeah, this is Super Duck, the Cockeyed Wonder by Al Fagali. Fagali. Okay, so that's his deal is that he's cross-eyed. Ooh, man, they're selling coonskin tails in this Captain Tootsie ad, which is an ad for Tootsie Rolls, which I don't like, but I like I like these ads. It's you're not supposed to show guns on StreamYard, but there's a picture of a gun there, and they're showing how to use it to shoot a bear in an ad for Tootsie Rolls. And there's an old mountain man with a coonskin cap. Now, a few years later, about 5, 6 years later, the coonskin cap would be a huge phenomenon in the United States, man. At that John Wayne Museum I went to about 2 weeks ago, they had coonskin caps, because John Wayne played Davy Crockett in the Alamo. And I think they were 40 something dollars. I was thinking I should get a coonskin cap, but everything's so overpriced here that I bet I could get the same coonskin cap for cheaper somewhere else. But where do you buy coonskin caps? eBay? Temu? No, I wouldn't get one from Temu. Probably be, yeah, on Amazon. Do they? And they had pretty cool cowboy hats that looked like John Wayne hats, but I figured those were like 125, 150. I don't know what the price of a cowboy hat is now. Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the main problem people have with Super Duck is it just he it just it just looks weird. The shoes he wears makes him look like a girl, and then he's wearing. It just would be better to walk around with no pants at all than to wear that outfit. I think Super Duck's problem in comic book history is his fashion choices. He just looks like someone you'd want to pick on. And I never picked on people in school, but he looks like someone that you just want to do that to. And there's some people just beg for it, right? Let's see. Is there any cretin commenting anything now of anything interesting? Let's see. Paulo, how are we all doing? Sleepy. And he says, Tootsie Rolls are round. If they are for squares, you're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. Oh my goodness. You should write fortune cookies, Paulo. Do you guys eat Chinese food in Portugal? I wonder if they eat Portuguese food in China. They probably eat Portuguese people. Here they're all cannibals there. I'm just joking. Forgive me, Zhu Jinping or whatever. Xi Shi Shu, whoever the president is of that country. Apparently, he gets very upset if you point out that he looks like Winnie the Pooh and he arrests you. Sure does. Oh my gosh. Monkey Shines comics. Oh, let's hear Dan Ingram.
What's happening in the world of sports today? Let's see here. Check out the scoreboard in the National League and night games. The Mets take on the Dodgers at 11 o'clock tonight. You'll hear the game right here on WABC. Cubs against the Braves. Reds play the Colt 45, and the Cardinals are in Pittsburgh to have a go at the Pirates. In the day game, it's a
Enjoy that thrilling, alluring new look beauty with the all in one 3-in-1 waist nipper, garter belt, and uplift bra.
Orioles with the White Sox. And Tigers, let's see here, at the end of 2.5
So,
innings, the Indians lead the Tigers by a 1-0 margin. And the Angels
full
are
bosom
behind the
fit.
Red
What?
Sox 1-0 at the end
What?
of 4. The only night game of the American League, the Athletics are in Washington to have a
I
go at
guess
the
they're
Celtics.
appealing to the mothers, the kids that read this comic.
But was it really as nice as you would have liked? Or did money problems sort of cramp your style?
Yeah, well, there's a pretty cool house out here. The Lucky Seven. This book's little rough condition, but the artwork in here. I challenge you out there, people like Paulo, who's a researcher and very knowledgeable historian and brilliant mind. I'd like to know the artist. I don't know if they credit the artist. This art is actually pretty good here. Oh, there's a name. Hal Lockwood. Someone Google Hal Lockwood. This art is good. See the artist on all of these.
Conveniently located offices in the New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut area. You see your phone book for the office nearby to you.
It's going, help, murder, police. Oh, Ricky Nelson, that'll get me for sure. Great song, but you can't play that on YouTube. YouTube doesn't like music or the truth. Um, Let me see here, man. Yeah, this is damn, man, my eyes. 1949, January 49. Yeah, this book's in pretty rough shape, but it's okay. It's together, man. 1949, the year I was born. What are people say? Oh, I think that's my wife. I can barely see the phone. See what these people are saying here. What are these people trying to say? We don't have fortune cookies with our Chinese food. The new trend is to have Indian waiters in Chinese places. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Paula says, I can try to write fortune cookies. With the tariffs, there's probably a new market for it. Oh, the tariffs never happen. You guys got a break for 90 days. You're okay. What were the tariffs he was proposing that he was going to give you guys? I'm hating life right now, says my wife. Yeah. Then what is it? Man, how do I get rid? Okay. Um, and then she says, I'm going to try to do this wax shed in my crippling state of mind. Oh my goodness. And Paulo says, Hal Lockwood did lots of work on funny animals for most of the contemporary publishers. I have a few credits of his in my timely Atlas database. He's got a bat computer in his cave. My wife says, did you check out the info I sent you about a food truck in town today? No, I didn't. So that sounds good. Hopefully it's better than that last food truck. They've got this thing up here in this area, this type of food that's popular in this part of the world. Actually, you know what? I never put the I I never put the link to come on, did I? I thought I did, but it was just sitting there waiting for me to press a button. So that's why no one's come on, possibly. Uh, and Paula says, "How are you doing today?" she just said she's in a crumbling state of mind, and yeah. And Myra Greenblatt says, "Good morning." Yeah, I think she's not doing too good. She just woke up um, a little bit ago. Um, the hell? Oh, there's this. They have something. What are they called? Like loin sandwiches. It's like it's like a hamburger bun, and then there's this giant piece of, I don't know, pig, tenderloin. I don't even know what kind of animal it comes from, but it's like breaded and it's like it's this big, and then the bun is this big, and it hangs out. Uh, it's it's you have to eat for quite a while before you even get to the bun. It's like a really weird food that they have in this part of the country that they don't have in Texas. Those I've never saw it. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? I don't even remember what it's called, but yeah, I don't know about this food truck. Okay, I have to turn everything sideways to read the comments. Fried pork tenderloin, like a schnitzel. I've heard of schnitzel. It seems like I've heard of Wiener Schnitzel. You know, that's what all the. But I don't even know if I've ever had that. It's more like just something they'd be eating right before Captain America beat them up and killed them. And the Nazis. They would always make fun of Germans in comic books by having them eat Wiener Schnitzel because it sounds funny. I don't know what anything is, man. Whenever I see the name Smitty, I think of this killer that I'd never even heard of this killer in the 50s. He was in Tucson. He was called the Pied Piper of Tucson, and he was this guy in the 50s. He thought he was like James Dean, if I can remember the story right. And he had slick back hair, and he always had a band-aid on his nose, kind of like Jack Nicholson would have in Chinatown, except it was over his whole nose. And then I think he painted a mole on his, like a beauty mark on his face or something. I don't remember, but he was some killer. And this guy uh, that I used to know, T. Tex Edwards back in Dallas, he had a he was this old punk rocker that was in the Nerve Breakers, which was a band that opened for the Sex Pistols in Dallas at the Longhorn Ballroom. But anyway, later on, he became this country music guy. But uh, he just did country songs about murder, and he had one song called Smitty. I think it was a cover song about sometimes they would do songs about killers like the Hillside Strangler or Manson, but there was one about Smitty. And I think I read a book about Smitty back in the 80s when everybody was reading true crime books because it was cool. Now I think it's cool again with the whatever the young people are that are in their 20s, whatever generation they're called, um, because they've got like women on YouTube that they come on and then they start putting their makeup on while they tell you stories about serial killers or the whole story of something horrible that happened. And by the time they finish telling you this horrible, morbid story, they're all glamored out. This girl named Bailey Sarian does that. Which, how do I know about that? Because my wife watches makeup videos. And it's like, uh, but I know there's there's popularity of true crime stuff going on. What do you call that? Spotify. Man, I've got a Spotify playlist. I keep forgetting that you could listen to for like 2 weeks and not hear the same song over. So I got obsessive about it, and then I just forgot about it. I didn't even know how to get back into my own account. I didn't even know how to get to Spotify. I think it was an app on my phone, but my mind has completely forgotten it. I remember for a while. I have a. If you look for Gratu Orloff, I think it's under Gratu Orloff. There's a playlist like music to read comic books by. Because I'll hear stuff playing in Kevin's store, Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. And I say, man, what's that song? He says, I'm listening to your playlist. And I said, I forgot I had a playlist, man. That's the great thing about being old and demented is you forget things and then you're surprised. They have little happy surprises. What's bad is when you forget your own phone number. That's bad. But anyway, that's not the same Smitty that's in this comic book. Obviously, this is newspaper reprints. This is a Dell magazine. Dell comics are good comics. Uh, this page is just variations of the color red, and this one's got some of these pages, but these are all four color pages. This is all right from the newspaper. That's how comic books started, just as reprints of the newspaper strips. So if it's reprints of newspaper strips, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be higher quality. I mean, it's going to be good art because the guys that did the art in the newspapers were always good, and then the guys that did it for the comics sometimes were good or great, but usually weren't even good or were barely good. But they weren't good enough. They weren't ready, for prime time. They weren't ready for the newspaper. But that was always the ultimate dream, to be in the big leagues, to do a comic strip for a newspaper syndicate. This is dated 4147. It's probably the copyright date of the original strips, but it's Smitty number 138. Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm. I don't think I ever sat through that movie. Why didn't I? I don't know. I guess I just figured it's not going to be monsters in it. I bet there's a dragon in it. Oh, man. Okay, I got to turn the music down before I get a copyright claim. Uh-oh. Um, um, I'll be right back. I shall return. What? Hold on a second. All right. I'll be back. Meyer says that Paulo had a good show. Schnitzel is Austrian, made famous in Vienna. I like it. Yeah. Then he says, thanks, Meyer. We're going to be switching my channel and Jared's for the foreseeable future, so I'll have a live stream 2 weeks out of every month. Yeah, I stumbled on the show, but I don't remember what was going on last night, but I'll have to watch it later. I can't really watch stuff on Friday nights. It's kind of hard. Um, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, yeah. Okay, is there any point in having a shrink wrapped Star Trek Power Record book? Um, the shrink wrap starts to shrink with age and warps the book. Um, so this shrink wrap's been there since what? So 1974. I'm going to remove it. It makes absolutely zero sense. Um, so I'm sure you're all upset about it. Piece of shit. Yeah, the shrink wraps caused the book to pages be a little tough to turn. Um, yeah, records in there, of course. Um, yeah, this isn't Neil Adams art, but it's well, it almost is. This is from Neil Adams' studio. These are his students. I'm thinking that's the case. I know Neil Adams did art for Power Records. It may have been a different Star Trek comic. This is, yeah. The likenesses of the cast of Star Trek are much better here than any other Star Trek book. Gold Key never had it exactly right. Uh, I never really liked the Marvel or DC adaptations or anybody else. My question is, why did I never buy this or the other Star Trek As a kid, as much as I was into Star Trek, I did get a Star Trek 33 and a third record album that had these stories. That had, maybe I didn't get it because I already had Passage to Mauve on that big record, but this has the art that goes with it. No, you could have slabbed that. Yeah, he's joking. Um, Kevin, don't. I was talking to Cleo. Don't do what she said. I'll deal with that situation. Um, just let me deal with that situation. There's no need for you to. Oh, that's what popped off. Look at that. It's a little sticker for Peter Pan Records that must have been glued on right here that popped off. Interesting. I guess they put that on there. Peter Pan was the. Where did it go? It's collectible. Was it'll turn up. Yeah, no comments. Of course not. This is a nice shape for a Charlton.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. I understand they're making a new wine for dogs. They call it Pooch Hooch. It's a new thing. Hey, listen, it's 26 minutes in front of 4 o'clock, and if you like to save money when you fly, bend in there in my direction, darling. Call Transcontinental Airlines Agency and fly to California for only $80. Or fly out to Hawaii from California for just $80. Fly to Chicago for just $23.40. Or Detroit for only $19. That'll work you out of town, man. Fly to Seattle for the World's Fair for only $109. Or enjoy the lunch 5-day Seattle World's Fair package for just $259. Or a 4-day economy tour to Seattle Fair for only $240. All fares for each way on ground crew plus tax Sunday through Thursday. Fly to Dallas. Only $56 plus tax. Fly to Miami for only $35 each way round trip plus tax. If you want 8 great days in Miami, including the hotel, you pay only $84. Call Transcontinental Airlines Agency, the best scheduled supplemental air carriers, and Circle 6-3000 for immediate reservation. And call collect if you like. Back on the number 3 time this week from the WABC Silver Dollar Survey today for Sean, New York John. And Neil singing thing that he calls. Silver Dollar Survey, they call breaking up is hard to do. 31st anniversary thing. Manufacturer of convertible furniture selling direct to you. To celebrate.
Oh shit! It's a hole. That's not good. Why that happen? In the middle of this bizarro story as a whole. Well, you can still understand the story. Tootsie Roll ice cream bar. I don't know. Something here. Okay. Obviously, okay. A couple of episodes back on a live stream, at the end of a live stream a week ago, I don't know, someone pops on, and I said, well, I'm not going to let people on that don't show their face. I made that proclamation before, and then I see some camera pointed at some comic books, and it's some name, inveterate collector or something like that. And I said, well, that may be this person that last summer started calling and and would talk for hours and hours and hours and call because he wanted to talk because my wife's a good listener and is a good and was he wanted to talk about some rough things happening in his life and different things, and so my wife would listen to him, and but he would talk for hours and call a lot, to the point where my wife sometimes was missing work because it was so much. And so, well, I'm gonna get to my point, but I've just got to, but I can't just do it now. I'll tell you, and it just anyway. They got to the point where, and I guess he had called Kevin at Gotham City Comics and said, I'm a big fan of Gratu's show, and then he talked to me on the show and said and then he wanted to come on the show to show some comics he was selling on eBay, some pre-code horror comics, and it's fine. But his phone wouldn't work. His Wi-Fi would work for about 6 seconds, and he wasn't able to ever show the books. So he shows up, and now suddenly he has Wi-Fi that works, and he was able to show all his books, or at least the ones he has for sale. And I thought everything was nice, but I I mean, things didn't end well, or uh, and putting him on probably wasn't the smartest thing for me. Now he tried to come on the last show, and I said, "Oh no!" Now he was there. I could see in the when I he was there, and he was actually on camera. He was doing what I asked. But I thought, man, this is just going to create too much problems because then he's going to try to start calling and call and I don't have any problem with it. I just don't. I just, it's, well, I have a problem because it affects my life, man. It's just, I can't, and then I don't get sleep, and I have a job. And so I didn't bring him on. It really, I was unboxing stuff. I thought it would have brought the show down. So now he's apparently calling Kevin's store over and over and over again, and leaving messages and messages. Why can't I come on? Well, first of all, Kevin's not my manager. He's not my, he doesn't manage the show. If you want to talk to me, come on the link there with your face showing, and I'll talk to you. But don't go through Kevin. If you can't get through to me because he has our phone number and everything, it just that's come on the show. That's how I talk to people. But it's creating he's got a business to run, so you know it's the problem with doing these live shows is it creates problems, man. We gave your eBay link. Anyone that if they're not buying your books, it may be that you got to bring the price down. I mean, you could show them. You could come on every episode, and I could bring on 5 or 6 times and show the same books, but they're not going to sell if the price is not. I mean, right now, maybe people aren't buying a lot of that stuff. I don't know what to tell you, but just if someone doesn't answer the phone, don't just keep calling and calling, man. Let's see. Nobody wants to come on. I even know I'm wasting my time with this. Just put the link here. If no one comes on, I'll probably just sign off. I just um, I'm not really in the mood to stare at this stupid screen, man. I've got better things to do with my time. Doesn't affect the story. CGC says it's okay. No, it affects the story. I mean, it's a hole in the middle of the artwork, but I mean, it doesn't affect any of the words, but that's normally something I would avoid. Hope CGC gets extra tariffs from what? Oh, yeah. Who cares? CGC has ruined comic collecting, and I don't really even care about comic collecting, man. In fact, I'd rather go back to my first love, Monsters and Mad Magazine, and then you don't have to deal with some of this insanity of these babies that pre-code horror is great, but normal people can't afford it. If you're Glenn Danzig, if you're Lex Interior, if you were Lex Interior, well, first of all, you wouldn't be alive if you're Lex Interior, but if you were alive, you bought all that stuff when you were a kid. Uh, Glenn Danzig, a little bit younger, but you can't buy that shit now unless you're rich. And if you try and start getting addicted to that, you might as well be addicted to fentanyl or something. Uh, um, um, but in fact, this is all a ridiculous hobby. Ridiculous. Um, I love comics and the art form, but people that use terms like key issue, I've got to get all the key issues, I've got to get a whole run. You don't need to get all the key issues. You don't need to get a run. If you use either of those terms, you're automatically suspect of being a complete and total idiot. What are the other words? Run, key issue, spine tick. What are other words that people use that immediately identify them as scurrilous, worthless people? I'm having to charge my phone, by the way. That's why I'm. Man, when Cliff Robertson was considered a fresh young talent, wow, 1962. That would have been a great year to be collecting comics. Well, yesterday was Superman Day. Apparently, nobody knew about it. Your local comic store had some special giveaway Superman books. There's also a Batman Day that happens at some point. I remember walking into a store. Oh, it's Batman Day. We're giving away this free Batman book. It's like, what the hell is it? Batman's birthday? What are people saying here? I like that idea. I don't know what that idea. What is that idea? I don't know what idea that was because I don't read the. Okay, what are people? Oh, okay, people are actually talking to me. Mark Jeweller's insert is the dumbest reason to want to own a comic. You either like the story or you don't. Yeah, yeah. The Mark Jeweller's insert. Why does that mean anything to you, idiots? It means something to me because well, it doesn't necessarily mean anything to me in books that I don't own, but the ones that I own that have Mark Jeweller's variants, I know, oh, I bought that at the PX when my mom and dad went to the PX, which was always a special time. And because my dad was in the army and it's a big, imagine it's a big giant target is what the military PX is like. It's on a base. Normal civilian people can't go into it. You have a little ID you have to show to get into it. It's kind of like, what is that stupid place, Costco, where they don't let you in without an ID or a little badge or something? That's what the PX is. First of all, you have to get into the military base. So you have to pull up, and there's a sentry at a booth, and they would salute my father because he was a colonel. And then you thought, man, that's cool. This guy's saluting my father. It makes me feel important. And then you go in, and then there's the PX. You go in, and there's a whole wall of magazines. And in the next room, there's records, and there's comic books. And they have Scream and Nightmare and Psycho. And uh, yeah, yeah, it was great. And so when I see the Mark Jeweller's insert, oh man, that's like the comics I got at the PX. Because they would include this little insert in the comics going to the Army and Navy bases or whatever Air Force bases, because they figured that young guys that are in the military want to get a ring or some jewelry for their sweetheart back in the States or wherever that's apart from them. And I guess once you're married, you're allowed to take your wife, or I guess nowadays your husband, with you wherever you get stationed. But if it's just your girlfriend or fiance, I guess they don't let you bring them. I assume that's the case. Damn. What happened? What is okay? The Dan Ingram show ended. Now we're in 1970. KHJ Los Angeles. Charlie Tuna. Anyway, so yeah. And then when you bought in the books, you buy them and they wouldn't charge you tax. That's the other thing about the PX. And then sometimes they put a little stamp of a star on the front of your comic when you bought it. And that's why those little stars are in some comics. So that's the only reason it means anything to me. But why it would mean something to an average idiot today? I have no idea. Um, let's see. Lost my place here. I lost my interest in showing comics when a minute ago. Uh, maybe someone will change my mind. I just heard a rumor that someone in my area wants to buy me out. Wonder if that is true. Are you serious? You should come on and talk to us about that. Really? You heard a rumor? Um, oh man, you can't. They can't buy out your masks though. You can't let them have that. If if they bought you out, what would you do? Uh, of course, you'd come here to my town and open a new comic store. Of course, filler books, variant, store exclusive, newsstand edition, witness signature. Other words, filler books. Yeah, filler book is a very insulting word, meaning basically all comic books that aren't. Yeah, variants. Yeah. Oh, that store exclusive. All of these are what run comic collecting. Newsstand edition would imagine if that was in record collecting. There were all these different variants of. I guess there are the Mad Magazine and Monster store. Can you imagine? Can you only imagine if I? That's probably what I'll see in heaven. Is there's the Mad Magazine and Monster store? Damn man, wow. That's all you really need in life, and rock and roll music, and old. Oh, well, there's music, not just rock and roll. There's all kinds of music, man. Yeah, Meyer just found that Franz Liszt, however you pronounce it, Liszt, the classical composer, used to live in his town, and got married to some American woman. And I said, "Bro, that's the guy that." It's a Flash Gordon's theme. The Buster Crabbe cereal was a Franz Liszt Les Preludes or whatever. That and the music they had left over, the music from the Bride of Frankenstein, Universal reused that for Flash Gordon. So, oh my gosh. So, uh, gosh. Yeah, I don't understand people that I don't understand. They ruin the whole hobby. These old comics are great, but there's idiots that buy the old comics, and then they make them idiotic just because they touch them, and they sell them, and it's like, why do you own that? What connection? Why do you enjoy that? What is the connection to that? That oh well, someone on YouTube told me it's good, so I like it. Well, that's a hell of a reason to buy something. Um, right, Drew? I just rather hang out with my dog and cats than just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go down for the last time. No, it's just, yeah, I'm getting ready to go down there now and see if there are many people going on the tour. In the tour description, it says we will learn about Li's life here. I don't know how to pronounce that. Um, yeah, well, that'll be good. If Meyer gives us a tour of his town, that might give me some ability to recover and actually possibly be in a somewhat good mood. But if I don't have you on the show, take it as a subtle hint that I just don't think it's wise for you to be on the show for various reasons. And calling up Kevin at his store over and over and over and over again and trying to talk for hours to someone who's trying to run a store or is trying to get home after closing his store to his dogs isn't going to probably make, and begging to be on my show. Kevin's a good friend, but he doesn't tell me who's going to be on the show. I mean, it's aren't there other shows you could go on and show? Can you go on the Horror Mike show? Can you? Because he's into horror comics. He's the one that probably told you to buy those comics. You know, you hear, "Gosh, those are sound good. I'll buy them." Well, now you're stuck with a whole bunch of comics, and you can't sell them, and you need to eat. And I can't help you with that. You were begging me to buy a book, and then you said you'd give it to me for like $50, and then all of a sudden it's 100 and something. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to sell that. Well, actually, you can have this one. It's like, well, I don't even need any pre-cut horror. I've got all that stuff. That stuff's all being reprinted by PS Art Books. I can't afford that shit. I don't want to get addicted to that. That stuff is great, but I'm too old to get into trying to collect something, man. I look at these kittens and realize, man, they may outlive me. It's waste of my time. All of this shit is a waste of my time. I'm here just because I've got some friends I like to talk to, but I have no interest. This hobby is really stupid. I swear it wasn't when I started uh, in the '70s, prior to maybe 1977, 78. It, when I was a kid, it was pretty great. All those years, the Silver Age, the early Bronze Age, all the Golden Age comics. Oh, it was all wonderful. But now they make comics with 80 different covers and they restart ASM 40 times. How many volumes of ASM? And that's another thing. The ASM shit. Spider-Man. The amazing, you call it Amazing Spider. That's the only Spider-Man comic. Yeah, that was Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. There's so many Spider-Man. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Uh, there's, you know what I know? I was going to say there are no good comic people making comics today. That's not true. Steve Rude's still around. He does live shows now, apparently on YouTube. There's this guy, Steve Mannion. Maybe there's just a bunch of people named Steve that are good. Uh, there's some people that do covers but don't do interiors of comics. Um, yeah, it's just a bunch of shit, man. Kevin will open up box after box of new comics at his store, and there'll be one comic worthwhile. Oh, well, it's a reprint of Fantastic Four number 4. Of course, it's good because it's from back then. And these idiots want, I want to get that, but with a, what do they call it, foil cover. Yeah. Oh, the Carpenters, man, they're playing the Carpenters. So I'm listening to this KHJ, man. It's 1970 again, and we've only just begun as playing. I was 5 years old. Man, who would have known my life would turn out to be this? Well, I mean, I'm happy with my wife and everything, but well, I'm actually pretty happy with what's happening to the United States. As, if this was a movie, you would cut to the buttons being pressed in Iran and missiles were already on their way over. Things are going great. Because they're over there supposedly negotiating with Iran today. I remember being picked up, 8th grade maybe, from junior high school by my mom, and she told me, they took all these hostages. They took in our embassy in Iran today. It's like, oh shit, like a couple hundred hostages, and they'd march them out to the cameras every day and show the hostages and make them say things with guns to their head. And then Ted Koppel started a show on ABC called Nightline, and every episode was about the hostages. Then the hostages got released when Reagan became president, and then his show continued, but he uh, he uh, he talked about other things. Oh, what's going on in the chat? Someone actually talked to me. Pray for peace. Okay, yeah. Well, yes, of course. She's she's taking me a little too seriously here. Oh shit! I hit the wrong button. I didn't mean to do that. I was about to start the countdown clock. Yeah, yeah. There'll be peace, or we'll be in pieces. Um, there's so much. What we're engaged in is a spiritual battle, and people will laugh at me and everything, but um, there are people out there that there are demonic forces. Now, whether you think they're space aliens or whether you accept that they're fallen angels or what they exactly are, or maybe you think they come from the planet Xenu or whatever. But you open yourself up to that influence through drugs, alcohol. They can take over your life through various things, perhaps through these evil comic books. And I don't know. I don't know if people are born bad or if people are just influenced by these forces. Because some people seem awfully bad. It's like, how did they get to be that way? They're just souls like everybody else. Well, maybe they're influenced. And there's a lot of there's so much bad out there, and I really think that our best chance really ever to clean this up is actually what's happening now with Trump, this guy that I thought was an idiot when I was a kid. I mean, he just always seemed like an idiot, with his hair and everything. But now I realize, no, he's not an idiot. Elon Musk, I used to think he was an idiot. And I think and some of these people there are people that used to be idiots and they wised up. They've wised up and they've realized what's out there, the dark forces, and um, I don't know. Well, we'll see. But I don't know. Larry Fink says we're going to have a recession. So those people are so scared, man. They thought they had everything right in their clutches. Okay, maybe we should look at more comic books. I don't know. But if this show continues to be a problem, people try to get at me through my wife. It looks like that's how they try it. The people out there in YouTube land, and they figure that's my weakness. That they'll get me through that by upsetting her, and that's how we'll get him to stop his show. You're not going to get me to stop this show. I'm going to just but it's weird, man. So sick of all this shit. But just stay away from that stuff, man. Something's questionable was probably something to stay away from. Is there tape on the side? Well, it's Smash Comics. Let's see what's going on with Smash Comics. Never owned an issue of Smash. Jack Cole art on the cover. So, doesn't seem. Ooh. Yeah, man. That's the thing about Golden Age books is there's a tremendous sense of melancholy about them, and there's also a tremendous responsibility in owning them because they're so fragile. The Red Rider selling all this stuff on the back. There's a fold going down here. It's almost like a slash. There's a lot of staple rust. But all kinds of, you got the humor, funny humor, you got your funny humor. You got the jester. You've got your text article, which is there to fool the post office. Man, this has got a tear. See that? Yeah, it's a fragile book. Real thick book, lots of comics. Somebody getting shot in the back there. And then this character, Midnight, looks like the Shadow, but isn't the Shadow. Art's pretty good. Be interesting to. The thing to do, 1947. The thing to do would be to get reprints of this stuff to read it more. That's really kind of the way to do it. But I've never, you never hear anyone talking about this character, Midnight. Now I realize that Gondwanaland is really, it's really serving a good, noble purpose, reprinting public domain things. But but even that's an addiction. You start buying those books, it's gonna really add up. Police Comics, May 1947. A lot of this seems to be coming from 47, 48, making me think it was all of these books might have come from one collection originally. This one's in slightly better condition than the last one. Same company. It's number 66, Police Comics. Shoot safe, buddy. This is it's got this is a spirit story. Not that it's got a spirit story in it. It's not Eisner art though. Eisner didn't always do the spirit. Flatfoot Burns, a character I've never heard of. Yeah, anyway, I think I got sidetracked. The text story is always going to be in here, and that way they can get a cheaper mailing rate by saying it's a magazine. By having, because when you have a certain amount of text, you can call it a magazine, not a comic book. Get a break with the post office. Okay, here's Candy, which is an Archie style deal. An ad for Trog.
Dracula, terrifyingly teamed in Technicolor, rated GP, all ages, parental guidance. Now, why are you looking at my neck?
You imagine turning on the radio and hearing an ad for Trog with Taste the Blood of Dracula? Man, how he'd be out of the house pretty quick. 1970, you could have gone to that double feature. Man, look at this Jack quote. Or maybe don't look at it. Yeah. Things I never thought I'd own. That no one's commenting, I'm sure. Let's see what people say. Dirt Nap Collectibles. Good day, hotel guest. If it isn't Eisner, it's likely his assistant, Jules Pfeiffer. Yeah. Eisner, yeah, he had a whole studio. Skip Savage, Morning Hotel Orloff. Yeah. Jules Pfeiffer just passed away. Very recent, I think recent. Yeesh. Single staple beer. I don't even know if that's holding on. Now you see a single staple that's going to be Warriors by only putting one staple instead of two. How much does that really help the war effort? I don't know. I mean, they printed a lot of comics, but they don't make bullets out of what they make staples out of. But if you save enough staples, you could build a tank, right? Yeah. Captain Marvel. There's a snap crack. I can't show shit to you, ladies and gentlemen, because these comics are so delicate. I don't want to hurt. Oh, there's a really great animated Pepsi Cola ad with these Pepsi Cola cops. It's a animated cartoon commercial, but it was used to, obviously there was no color cartoon, so there's no television in when this comic came out, uh, but it was in movie theaters. So if I can find it on YouTube, I'll give you the link to it. But they had at least one cartoon commercial for Pepsi in color with these little policemen that showed in movie theaters, and it's really cool. Um, um, the the registrations real. It just happened. You haven't posted anything for a special today. Okay, I need to find out. She's talking about a food. Check out the food truck. Yeah, I get. My wife's sending me a text. I guess it. Where's the link to the food truck? Um, oh, they're promoting the invasion from outer space is coming up in the. Yeah, man, I could see. This was a great comic. I'd like to get more hardcover collections, reprints of these stories. So they seem to get off registration a lot here. What year is this? August 46. That's after the war, and they're still doing the one staple thing, man. There's no excuse for that after the war is over. Yeah, I may be happy with my Golden Age collection at this point the rest of my life. I don't need to get more into Golden Age. Uh, I'd love it, but I don't really see the point in it. I think I think I just can't afford it, and it's I can't afford it. I wish I could afford it. I wish these magazines weren't so delicate. Um, and somehow when you get a big hardcover and reprints of these, it's not as much fun because it doesn't have the ads. It just doesn't feel like a comic book. It feels like, and oh, Facebook Messenger. Okay. All right, let me go look at that. I don't even know how to get to Facebook Messenger. No, it's a food truck that actually has cheeseburgers and stuff. So that actually may be a good thing. Now, those Golden Age books were just a few dollars each because they were basically giveaway prices, but I couldn't, I just couldn't get into the spending more than $100 in gold. I just couldn't. But stuff from the 60s and the 50s, that's fine with me. But when you get back way into the 40s, you see, this is, well, it's a 12-cent comic, so it's a daisy. The Harvey Oswald. Let me see here, man. I like to guess. I'd say this is from 1960. Say it's August of '64, and there's nothing written on the back. I like to play a guessing game. February of '66. I'm off by a few years. Oh wow. Oh man. This look at this sticker. This book has been dedicated in honor of Juwan Adams. Juwan Adams. It's got a little sticker. This book has been donated in honor of Juwan Adams. So someone named Juwan Adams died, and this was donated to a library or something like that in his honor. And Juwan. Wow, I wonder what the story is there. I saw some video this morning on Don Rosa on YouTube, and I didn't know the story about this guy that loved Karl Barks so much and drew in his style and did the whole life story of Uncle Scrooge and how he's been shafted by Disney, and um, kind of a sad story. Now, Monster World was a companion magazine to Famous Monsters, done by Warren. So they had two monster magazines coming out at the same time. And I think Monster World went for maybe 12 issues. And at a certain point, they decided to count those 12 issues as part of the run of Famous Monsters. So Famous monsters. If you click famous monsters, you'll notice there's a jump. No, take it out on the whole audience. My wife's telling me to. I'm not in a bad mood now. I'm because I'm handling Monster Magazine. She thinks I'm still mad. She's watching with the sound off, thinking I'm still mad. Your channel has been growing a little bit. She a little bit. Yeah, she thinks I'm not mad at the whole audience. I'm just mad at the comic book industry, and they when you take it out on the audience. Yeah, I don't mean to do that. I just sometimes I get in a bad mood, man. I'll get out of it. Oh, anyway, so if you click famous monsters, you'll notice that the numbering jumps from I forget what I used to know the issue numbers. There'll be like 12 issues that don't exist because their Monster World is considered to be like Famous Monsters 77 is Monster World 1. I'm just making up the numbers in my head. And I think that was partly done by Forrest J. Ackerman, the editor, to try to get Famous Monsters to jump up closer to issue 100 because he wanted to do a big 100th issue, giant issue, I think. This is when Aurora Model Kits came out with the guillotine. Now, you'll find a lot of these in great condition because there was a warehouse find of these, and don't let people make you think that these Warren magazines are rare because they aren't. Um, if you rarely see them, that's just because people love them and don't want to sell them. See, here they have actual photographs of these masks, and then down here, the Monsters masks, they just have photographs of the actors, which makes you, well, I think anyone could tell those aren't the real masks. Those are actual humans. But if, otherwise, you might think you're getting a really realistic mask. Uh, these records, you can listen to them all on YouTube. I have that Shock record, and I have Spike Jones and Hi-Fi. It's a monster record. And this says the horror movie music of Dick Jacobs. That's you can just look up Dick Jacobs on YouTube and hear that music. Oh, and music for robots. That's got a great side too, with nothing but electronic robot sound effects. It's great. Um, anyway, my favorite, one of the things I love about Warren magazines are the ads in the back. In this case, for Super 8, 8mm movies of these classic monster movies. So this is probably, I think this is from about 66, 67. Let's say March of, let's make it late in 66. Let's say October 66. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, I'm way off. June of 65. Oh, you know what? That means this was on sale when I was born, this issue. Because if it was, it's stuff that's dated June was on sale in April, 2 months difference. So this was on newsstands when I was born. And it's in better shape than I am. I'd have to say, damn. Oh, oh, goody, goody. Here's a creepy ad for Creepy. It's a brand new magazine. They're on issue 4 at this point, or about or issue 3 actually. The Some of these photographs seem a lot more horrifying when you see them outside the context of the movie that they're from. It makes you when you actually see the movie years later, you realize, no, it's not as bloody as you think. Like, see that picture looks like something, right, taken on the long side of the highway after a traffic accident. But and this is what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later. Can I have them, please? See you later. Can I have them, please? Who talks to their dad that way? Robert Block. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. It's a little short story. There's a short story. It says, what? By Edgar Allan Poe and Robert Block. Every cool boy reader of famous monsters is familiar with the terror tales of Edgar Allan Poe, The Black Cat, The Telltale Heart, The Pit and the Pendulum, Masquerade, blah, blah, blah. And everyone not in his right mind is acquainted with the works of Robert Bloch. They should be. He's given them the works often enough. Bloch, of Psycho fame, and Return of Psycho, Motor Psycho, Psycho Strikes Back, Psycho. Oh, shut up. This story, Forrest J. Ackerman's hard to take, his little humor. This story, originally titled simply The Lighthouse, was first published in a 1953 issue of Fantastic as Ziff Davis magazine, to which we are indebted, along with co-author Robert Bloch, for republication here. When Poe died in 1849, he left the story you're about to read unfinished. Oh, that's what I thought. Robert Bloch could not have completed it at the time, as in those days he was only 2 years old. However, and they misspelled it. It says, however, a century after the old master laid down his pen for the last time, young Master Bloch got out, got out of the pen for the last time, we hope, and completed the story. Okay. Interesting. The Horror in the Lighthouse. So it's an Edgar Allan Poe unfinished story that Robert Bloch finished. Interesting. Okay. We're on November 30th, 1974, WDHF Chicago. Yeah, I was thinking ABBA wouldn't have been in 1970. I'm already past 1970. I'm recording this stuff off of YouTube, Retro Radio Joe. Today is Record Store Day. Yeah, I forgot Record Store Days in April. Well, there's no record stores here in town. Um, Record collecting, depending on what kind of records you collect. Well, some of those people can be as bad as comic book collectors, I guess. The younger ones don't call them records, they call them vinyls, which is kind of annoying. Oh well. Why am I letting this ABBA music be audible? It's just gonna screw me up. I love ABBA. I just I realized that it's going to create copyright. This has got some nice gloss to it. This issue of Gasp, Demon of the Deep. Okay, looking at this, 12 cents. I would say this is, ooh, man. I'm going to go with 1964 November on this one. Will I be correct? No, I'm off. 67. Damn. December, January 67. Haunted House Mystery Bank. 66-piece electric slot race set. 12 feet of track, 2 cars, scale speeds up to 60 miles per hour. Only $4.95. So this has got a full color pinup picture of Flubadub on the back cover. That may not be the type pinup pictures you're used to, but Flubadub. The Clarabelle comic strip has no words because Clarabelle never talked. Howdy doody. Okay, I would say this is gonna be 54 October. No, April, June 55. I'm not that off though. I'm within what, 6 months? I'm not good at math. Wonder if Meyer is on that tour or if he got permission to film the tour. Be interesting to see it. Oh man, that's not right. I was typing. It says, "Do you wasn't me to get cheeseburgers? Do you want?" Hopefully, my wife will see that. Do you want me to get cheeseburgers from the food truck? Oh, I want to look at this Joe Palooka Battle Adventures book. Man, that's before my time, and you had to refill a ballpoint pen. Joe Palooka War Stories. They should have had Dennis the Menace Vietnam Adventures. That would have been interesting. Or Charlie Brown in Vietnam. That would have. Look at this Korean War. Oh boy, there's another war. We can sell war comics again. Yeah, this Korean soldier just got shot right through the head. There's something about seeing Joe Palooka uh, in combat that's just kind of kind of strange. I mean, you're used to seeing him in a boxing ring. I mean, it's always been, you know, it's seeing him actually killing people. It's a little different. This is great. Joe Palooka's Battle Adventures number 74. It's just counted in with the regular run of Joe Palooka. They didn't have him in, wasn't a separate title. Was there ever an answer to my cheeseburger query? Jughead and Nom would have been something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Archie gang would have been too young for World War II. They could have gotten them into Korea, though, because they were already teenagers in high school during World War II. They added more Marvel superheroes music this morning to this archive. Free comic book day in 3 weeks. I am all for war comics. Hope that it's not the reason they come back. Yeah, war comics are great. It's just, it's always, as much as I love war comics, it's always been a little weird that they are. It's just a little weird that they're being made for little boys, and yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just weird. I don't want to sound like some liberal or something, but it's weird to make war toys and war comics for little boys. It's not really. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Maybe it's the natural state of things. Where are the cats, man? They must be upstairs with my wife.
Baseball being right years ahead in its handling of the drug problem. Of course, there is a plethora of, what are you doing to me? What happened? Hello. What did you do to me in the middle of a show that was saying exactly what I wanted to say? Why? It's only radio. It's so simple. Now, will somebody cut in and talk to me, please? I know where the hell I'm at. Hello. 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 What happened? Who's that? Jerry Sheehan? What happened was in the middle of my show, I suddenly was broken in on with a Solar King commercial. I was I was simply in the middle of saying exactly what I wanted to say on the sensitive subject, and it's just criminal. I mean, radio is so simple. I don't have these problems in television. Now, what do you want me to do? Now, what do I do? Jesus Christ. I give up. I just give up. I quit. I'm going to call Ed McLaughlin right now. Can somebody talk to me? I just got pins off. Is there anybody there that can talk to me? Answer me. Before I call the president of the radio network. I guess not. It is simply unbelievable. Simplest thing in the world. Hello. Yeah. Hello again, everyone. Howard Cosell, speaking of sports. Thank you very much. I don't care about sports. There isn't a local station in America that doesn't give the scores every 10 minutes. That's not the function of a network. Scores or a rewired copy. Gee, it's not you. It's not. All right, I'll do it over. It's not like you. All of the cruel best. The Bears decided that Winfield doesn't cut the mustard for the Yankees. So much for those stories. As for the Giants, hold on, dear. I got a phone ringing.
No tour today. Second Tuesday of next week.
You know, I've done all I can for you. Billy
Boys are
Joe
trying to
is the
physical danger.
fucking men in America, and you've got to stop talking, man. I did it for you in spite of the fact that you're owned by every fucking sports writer in America, and I'm not going to call Billy again. I told you he's doing it. Billy will call me when he's good and ready. He had to run a huge luncheon today at Forest Hills. He's got 5,000 things on his mind, and 5,000. Yeah, so you've been calling. I got in this morning. It's the first thing that fucking imbecile girl bothered me with. Now I was in the middle of a radio show. Yeah.
Zero outtakes from Howard Cosell.
I told you that you're gonna get them, and I told you that Billy was calling you today when she was up. Then you have to say,
This tree's got leaves coming in. It's junk mail.
oh, fucking, some fucking, and that, like, they're all lying. Everybody in sports is a fucking liar. One person tried to tell the truth. I'm so glad I'm out of it. It's horrible. You, it's hatred. That's what it is now. At that whole crooked scene. You can't understand that, can you?
This is on the Retro Radio Joe channel.
Oh, by the way,
It's only had 451 views in the last 5 days. This great Howard Cosell bit.
he's not to be counted on the roster while they try and break his back because it's Wellington Mara. Okay? Goes on and on. What are you going to read about? You read Norman Miller about a flannel mouth. I'm not upset about it. I just think that I'm not even upset. Believe me, the point is that that's what it is. It's sick. Goodbye. I don't want to hear about it. Good. And, nothing. I just got interrupted in the middle of the show by Joey Goldstein hocking me for his fucking ticket. It's all right. It's not important. I've got other things to take care of. I've never been in love before. Bum, 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 bum. Guys and Dolls. What a great song. Joe. Joe, we do all the things. This program. Here is Jean-Claude Killy, three-time Olympic gold medal.
Well, the Parmesan is over your pleasure. 12:33, JGB lap in 5.
Here is Jean-Claude Killy, three-time Olympic gold medal ski champion and lover of many things, including fine automobiles, with a well-chosen word about Camaro SS. Fantastique Chevelle SS. When I was a kid, all I wanted was Army men and war toys. I guess it had an inner megalomaniac. See all of Chevrolet's super sport cars in your Chevy dealer sports shop. The engine room of Chevrolet. The Hero Complex, not a bad name for a business. I played Army and read war comics because I wanted to be heroic. Yeah, that makes sense. Ultimately, the best thing is the best leaders know how to avoid war, whether that's from being strong or just being smart enough to, you know, it's just better not. It's just we're going upstairs, ladies and gentlemen. Now there's two of me. That doesn't work. Let's see. Let's get rid of this clown. Okay, come on. Had to switch to a different Wi-Fi for the upstairs area. Well, we're up in the attic again. Wonder if the cats are up here. Sometimes they hang out in the attic. Oh, I can see a little bit of mischief the cat's been up to up here. A little bit. Shit. Okay. Oh, already took that in.
Hey, Last Frontier, you ought to come on and show the cards you just got. All right, that's the link to come on. That's the link. By the river Nile, there was a queen who had a wicked smile. Her name was Cleo. Her name was Cleopatra. Oh, it's good. This Charlton County stuff. This issue of Surf and Wheels. Let's see if I have any other copies of Surf and Wheels. There's $6 Million Man. Come on, back. Strange suspense stories. And it goes right here. Heat Secret. There. This box here is where, it's like the very end of my comic collection. Then I've got all these books in here alphabetically, and then when I open a box, I file books from this box into that. It's like a staging box, if that makes any sense. So I'm putting books. I've got them by different companies here. It's a beautiful summer day. All the darkened clouds have gone their way. I'm longing to hear you say that you love me as before. That music might have copyright problems. I don't know. Okay. There's an issue of Combat Kelly. Let me put you where there's light. So this is an issue of Conan 179 I just got, and I have 158 here. I was watching one of those claim sale shows that they've got, like, he's probably on right now. They think he's the cheap comic collector, and then there's a guy, Psychotronic Sticky Goose. Those guys do these claim sales. Shake it, Psychotronic Squirt Gun. Sorry, I'm mixing up influencers. They showed this book the other day, and they just show random books, but they didn't know. I don't think they did because I had the sound off. But this book has value to people outside the comic book world because that there was taken by Glenn Danzig as the symbol for his self-titled band Danzig. So that's on all the Danzig record covers, that skull. So this really has more value to rock and roll record collectors than it does to comic book people. So it has some value. Just the comic book people that don't know music, like, well, I don't know. I think Psychedelic Squirt Gun. I think he's a musician. I think he makes music, so he might know about. He might have that knowledge. But, most of these comic collector type people, they don't know music much. Um, I don't think so. Maybe they do. Marvel Adventure.
This is
I'm putting this in.
Clear Channel XCRV.
These are reprint comics
Central Studios, Los Angeles.
in the big city last week. There's Marvel Double Feature 10.
That means you're listening to XCRF, the Acuna.
Recently, I got Marvel Double Feature 1.
Your cleared channel station that covers.
I probably have a complete set. Now, here's 12. They're reprints of Tales of Suspense, obviously. Then here's Marvel Super Action, number 3. Marvel Triple Action, number 9. This is my time period, the early 70s, the 20th century. 14. And then here's a DC comic from that same time period, The Shadow, number 8. I guess I'm supposed to show the covers longer so you guys can do whatever you do for a few covers. Shadow. I've been told, hold that comic longer. Okay. Shadow goes there. Michael Red Silver Surfer goes with the Marvel for the True Believers. And Supervillain Team Up. Okay. Harvey. Envoys from U.S. Iran agrees to additional talks over Tehran's nuclear program. We agree to talk more. Is that really even news? I guess it is. Daredevil 81. Death is a Black Widow. This is the very beginning of the Bronze Age. This just got a facsimile of Daredevil 1. No, that goes in with the Soul Grade. This is one. We have the Bronze Age separate. Okay. So this would go after that issue of Crystar and Crystal Warrior. What were the toys like for Crystar? Were they good? I mean, they were toys to me to begin with. I looked at this issue of Gasp. Let's see. Gasp is ACG. Right there in the dust, he sat by the sound footsteps. He should the blind man just Super Duck goes with the Archies. The day that Jesus of Nazareth would pass by his way. Something good is going to happen to you. Happen to you. This very day. Something good. Facsimile of Detective Comics. Number 31. This is probably still in your local comic store. People get foil covers of this. It's really kind of funny. She stood by the well. Come on. Put this with the DC folks. There we go. Misfortune and Harvey were all she had known. What's going on? People are talking to me. Was Jesus who would offer her. C3PO is doing a signing here next month. Thinking about getting my card signed. I wonder what happens if someone hands him that card. That'd be funny. You got to get that filmed. I can come on in about an hour. I'm driving home, says Last Frontier. Okay. You do a lot of driving, man. Let's see. I'm starting to feel a little better, says my wife. That's excellent. That's good. I wish I could just hang out and watch. Oh, there's nothing to see here. This is a horrible program. I have it on mute and can only glance when I get the chance. Yeah, I'm gonna go down in a second and ask if she wants me to go get a cheeseburger. If Pauline is watching, hello. Yes, hello, Pauline, if you're watching. All right. Mystery in Space. One of the newer books I just got. Number 83. This makes me happy. Books from this time period. It's just when you get books that are 80 years old, 70, 80 years old, and they haven't been stored right, it's just, you know, they're so delicate. But books from the 60s, if they've been stored right, they're perfectly good to read. You don't feel guilty about it. Oh, wow. May 63. So this was on stands in February of 63. This is before, you know, the Kennedy assassination. Oh, this will get me a copyright claim. It didn't used to, but all of a sudden it started to. Yeah. I wonder if Meyer knows about these cars. What? I wonder how they must be tiny. You got $2.49. I didn't know Strange Sports first appeared in Brave and the Bold. Beautiful, beautiful. Man, this is beautiful. Perfect white pages. I guess so. Fantastic Four 3, Fantastic Four number 4 comes out on Wednesday in our local stores. Um, Apparently, they're going to do the facsimiles of the first 12 issues. I already showed you this one. Green Lantern 71. Why am I dividing DC and Marvel? I never do that. Justice League 69. Tales of the Unexpected. At this point, it's kind of a science fiction comic. But when Joe Orlando came into DC, he turned it into a horror comic along with the House of Mystery, and that would have been about what, 68. Yes. Oh, this always gets me a copyright claim too. Oh, I better get it quick. It's gonna only a few seconds of wolf call gets me every time. Usually, there should be a certain number of seconds you can get away with. That was stupid. I should take the tape off. This is in outstanding condition. Very white pages. So, April, May 65. Wow. This bag and board is a little tight. That's number, I can't read that. Are you kidding me? Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get them out. Sometimes it might just be better to use maybe Golden Age boards. Oh, this has two bags and this has two boards in it. No wonder it's tight. I guess that gives it extra protection. Oh. Well, one staple's loose at the bottom. Top one's holding on. Good. No complaints. Look at this cover. Nothing. A little scotch tape won't fix, right? This has a wonderful, wonderful comic book aroma that takes me back. Oh, September 1960. Don't be held back by half a man body. All right. I just filed this under U for unexpected, even though it's called Tales of the Unexpected, because later it will just be unexpected. And that's how I always thought of it. Yeah, nobody's commenting. Superman 188. These books were originally in a antique mall. That would be a reason to double board them because they get damaged from the people that don't know how to handle comics. Yeah, these DC books seem to be pretty much white pages. Man, this villain is pretty effeminate looking with his eyebrows and the little necklace. Looks like a guy that'd be out scratching Teslas. School for Superman Assassins. Superboy, Superman. Sergeant Fury number 14. This was a great comic. Sergeant Fury. Give me just one evening and I'll teach you to hypnotize easily. Boys, men, I'll help you master Yubiwaza, says MJ Fleming. Yubiwaza master. Yubiwaza is the secret, amazingly easy art of self-defense. It turns just one finger of your hands into a potent weapon of defense without any bodily contact. One finger of your hands as opposed to one finger of your feet. Okay, here's a whole pinup page of the B-26 Martin Marauder. Also on sale that month was Spider-Man 21. Can't see. Still can't see. Spider-Man 21. X-Men number, I think that's 9. You had Tales to Suspense, Tales to Astonish. Man, I'm not used to seeing such white paper on Marvels from this time period, especially, growing up in Texas. A lot of the old Marvels, the pages had got kind of brownish. Look at this spread for the Merry Marvel Marching Society. I missed the Merry Marvel Marching Society, but I was a member of FOAM because this came out before I was born. January 65, yeah. This came out. I guess I was alive at that time inside my mother's stomach. It's funny when little kids say the baby's in my mom's stomach. It's like your mom must be a cannibal. Sergeant Fury 14. I always file this under SE, not SG, because Sergeant is spelled SE. So it would go right before Spider-Man, because I file Amazing Spider-Man under S for Spider-Man. Pretty sure I do. At least I do in the Silver Age ones. Bob Hope 83. With this one I file under A for Adventures. I like that it's in a wider bag. It slips right out. Very white pages. Skinny or fat, 15, 20, 30, or 40 years of age. They don't say 60. I'm about to 60. Yeah, it's a Silver Age book in a Golden Age bag, and I think it's perfect. I think that's good. Is there tape on this? Maybe not. Man, everybody stopped commenting all of a sudden. Oh, wait, there's a comment, I think. Who could it be? I'll join in a couple. I'm just now getting inside, and the leaf blower guy just started out there. Give me a minute to decompress from the outside world. Yeah. I think I may be going out into the outside world in a minute to get a cheeseburger. Number 23, the world's smallest superhero, the Atom. I don't have many issues with the Atom. The Atom didn't sell very well, and then they combined him with Hawkman. I have some issues with the Atom and Hawkman. This one, this one's been handled by a rougher kid, type kid that also plays baseball and stuff. Yeah, it's rough handling. It's still pretty much together, but a book like this is affordable. Yeah, it's great. Early GI Joe ad here. I'd say this is probably October 65, February, March 66. I was pretty close. This Polaris Tinkler sub is great. Great ad. Oh, while I'm up here, I need to find the hammer. I think I left it up here in the ad. Atom. There's one more Atom here, but then I'm gonna go see about getting a cheeseburger. Atom 24. What is that? Nothing. I have to turn the camera sideways to read the chatter. Got a little bit of a tear. Art by Gil Kane and Sid Green. Story by Gardner Fox. April, May of '66. Oh, this is great. Reminds me of Gulliver Jones that Gil Kane did for Marvel about 10 years later. Was that for the Dragula? Atom. Ah. Whoa.
People, he was scared of the unknown. Unlike anything you have ever seen before, the theater is turned into a graveyard. Your seats become coffins. Weird creatures sit next to you and put their cold, clammy hands around your throat and whisper things in your ears. Live speech from up and down the aisles. You must confront me. And now the extended outlook for the period. Sunday through Friday, a few. Mainly non-severe thunderstorms are possible Sunday over northern Iowa. Additional thunderstorms. Under talks, the U.S. is hoping to convince Tehran to end its nuclear program. Fox's Dana Marie McNichol in Florida.
These talks mark the first discussion with Iran since President Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal during his first term. Now, the White House says the ultimate goal here is for Iran never to get their hands on a nuclear weapon. Last night, on the way down to Palm Beach, President Trump addressed these negotiations on Air Force One. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff is scheduled to be in Oman this weekend to discuss Iran's nuclear program. President Trump said this week the situation with Iran is entering, quote, dangerous territory. In the meantime, President Trump will be on Fox Noticias in an exclusive two-part interview hosted by Rachel Campos Duffy on Tuesday, April 15th, Wednesday, April 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern each day. A federal judge has ruled that a pro-Palestinian activist can be deported. An immigration judge overseeing Mahmoud Khalil's immigration hearing in Louisiana on Friday is citing a memo that Secretary of State Marco Rubio submitted this week. Rubio says Khalil's presence in the U.S. would undermine efforts to fight anti-Semitism. Khalil's attorneys, though, are calling the ruling a dangerous precedent, saying he hasn't been charged with a crime, and they're accusing the government of encroaching on his First Amendment rights. Khalil's legal team says he was merely a negotiator for Columbia students who are protesting against the war in Gaza. But Rubio says the administration has the authority to remove Khalil because his actions don't align with U.S. foreign policy. That's Fox's Madeline Rivera, Americans listening to Fox News. From around the world, Trey Hicks, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel, to Washington. I'm Mike Emanuel. To your own backyard. If the story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcast Network. Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you. America's listening to Fox News. Some new Doge calculations, it says 3 Democrat-led states accounted for $305 million in unemployment fraud over the last 4 years. The Department of Government says since 2020, hundreds of millions in benefits went to recipients in New York, California, and Massachusetts.
Where is the food truck?
15 years old, 28 to 105, and some with birth dates that haven't even occurred yet. He's the oldest American to be.
The food truck must already be gone, man. What the hell?
First official physical of his term. 78-year-old told reporters on Air Force One he did well. But they wanted to know more about tariffs in the market.
I think people are saying we're in great shape. We have, we're making a lot of money as a country now, the first time in a long time. We were losing billions of dollars a day, and now we're making billions of dollars a day. It's a big difference.
Mr. Trump says the plan will eventually lead to a stronger U.S. economy. The president has orders for the military and the future of some land along the southern border.
President Trump issued a memorandum Friday giving the military permission to take control of a strip of public land along the southern border to combat illegal immigration and drug smuggling. That strip spans California, New Mexico, and Arizona, but excludes Native American.
Oh my gosh. Well, there is no food truck. Maybe they ran out of dead cows. Okay. lady after me asked the cashier, "Do you have worms yet?" And he said, "Yes." I guess she's wanting to go fishing. I didn't know they had worms in here, man. Worms. Yes, indeed.
Of an hour. These are the 1 p.m. conditions for the Creston area. At the Creston Airport, it was mostly sunny. The temperature was 64 degrees, the dew point 39, and the relative humidity 39%. The pressure was 29.99 inches and falling. Looking around the area, it was sunny with a temperature of 72 at Red Oak, 72 at Shenandoah, and 68 at Harlan. It was mostly sunny with a temperature of 62 at Lamoni, 68 at Clarinda, and 68 at Atlantic. At Des Moines, it was partly sunny with a temperature of 65. Here are some conditions elsewhere in Iowa and Missouri. It was sunny with a temperature of 63 at Cedar Rapids, 64 at Ottumwa, and 74 at Sioux City. It was mostly sunny with a temperature of 68 at Kansas City and 69 at St. Joseph. At Omaha Council Bluffs, it was partly sunny with a temperature of 72. Now for a few weather conditions around the region. Sunny. The temperature was 72 degrees, winds were gusting to 39. At Minneapolis, St. Paul, it was partly sunny. The temperature was 63 degrees. Once again at 1 p.m. in Creston, it was mostly sunny. The temperature was 64 degrees. Elevated fire danger this afternoon. Breezy south winds sustained at 20 to 25 miles per hour and gusting 25 to 40 miles per hour. Dry vegetation and relative humidities less than 40% will lead to elevated fire danger starting this afternoon. The areas affected include all of central Iowa, but especially west and northwest during the afternoon and early evening hours. The following effects are expected. Any fires that ignite may spread rapidly. Preparedness and precautionary actions. Burning is discouraged under these conditions. Also, take care to prevent the start of accidental fires when smoking or operating vehicles around dry vegetation. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for portions of central Iowa. For today and tonight, elevated fire danger conditions may develop today due to breezy to windy conditions and dry tall grasses. Any fires today may become quickly uncontrollable. And now the extended outlook for the period Sunday through Friday at few, mainly non-severe thunderstorms are possible Sunday over northern Iowa. Additional thunderstorms are possible Wednesday night through. It'll keep me holding on to you forever. All my eyes can only see as far as From Planet 13.
The spook show stuff. The audio has been copywritten by Something Weird Video, so I got to trim that sound down pretty quick. They collected a lot of it together and then somehow got a copyright on the sound and on the video, which I guess, they transferred it, from the reel to reel and from the film, old film cans, and reel to reel for the audio for the radio spots. So they did put Mike Vraney did put the effort into it and all that. I mean, we'll say no food truck, no dice. Big UFC party next door tonight. Kind of hyped to see Patty Plimblett fight. A UFC party would be fun. It says N. Bryce Mitchell. Yeah, that would be fun. You know, at a UFC party, you're not gonna. People are gonna be politically aligned with you. You're not gonna hear. I think Kamala Harris made a lot of good points. This is on YouTube. Something weird. Spook show spectacular a go go is was put up by. Damn it! The dog just knocked this ball over. Was put up by. Why can't I think of his name now? Sunny Boy 66. Sunny Boy 66 puts up a lot of records that are great. Hmm. God damn it. I'll see you guys in stream.